Don't worry, Doremi. I mean, it's not as though you're missing much. I mean, the only flavor of Dr. Pepper they had left was creamy coconut. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This is an actual thing, and I'm willing to bet it's disgusting.
Cold opener for this one featured the Ojamajo waving goodbye to their title character.
Well, look at the bright side, Doremi. At least no one can accuse you of seasonal rot.
The episode proper opened with the Ojamajo making their signature candies, but a wrench, or rather a ladle, was thrown into the machine by Doremi accidentally. It broke it, forcing them to temporarily discontinue selling candies and chocolates until Della, or Willy Wonka, could get serviced.
Hey, at least that thing lasted longer than the average McDonald's ice cream machine.
Later, Doremi noticed her friends discussing something in secret and trying to make sure that she specifically didn't hear them.
Really? We're doing this sort of story? I mean, I don't think I even have to spoil anything. You can just guess what's gonna happen by the end of this episode. No, that's actually a good twist, unlike this just turning out to be Doremi's birthday.
Like seriously, it's a cliche as old as time, even when the series came out in 2001. Honestly, the only time I can remember this sort of story being done well was Party of One from My Little Pony, as at least with that show, the twist that was Pinkie Pie's birthday was actually a good twist. The character was obsessed with throwing parties to the point that, yeah, it would seem like her friends would want to avoid her when she tries to invite them to another one. Sure, some viewers are probably able to guess the twist sooner, but likely not immediately, and even then, the rest of the episode was hilarious enough thanks to Pinkie Pie going full yandere.
Meanwhile, with this show and its pink lead, well, let's get back into the episode and really talk about it.
Doremi believed that they were upset over a few mistakes that she made, like forgetting to put away some milk and letting it spoil, which isn't too bad honestly, or ruining a batch of cookies because she put in a little too much sugar, which yeah, that is worse, but again,
it's no big deal really.
Though as we'd see, this would become a rather repetitive pattern with this episode. Doremi would encounter someone who's helping set up her surprise party and would somehow mess things up for them. This included the other Ojamajo, and then later her parents, and yeah, it's not only predictable, but also kinda devolves Doremi's character. Like, yes, she is unlucky and a bit of a klutz, but in cases like this, it's less about her being clumsy and just being outright careless. For instance, when she tried to help her father replace a light bulb, she ended up knocking him off the ladder when she tried to push it forward. Like, not only is that not very funny because it looks like it could really hurt, but again, it feels like Doremi is just being completely careless, if not outright kind of stupid, which after over 2 seasons of the show, it just doesn't feel right. Not helping matters is how the show keeps on very clearly telegraphing that there's going to be a surprise party.
Now, this wouldn't be too big a deal if at least the comedy was decent, but as we'll see by the end of this, well, yeah.
The next day, Doremi found letters from all of her family members saying that they just so happened to need to do something that day. Yeah, that's not all the least bit suspicious, though to be fair, Doremi was distracted by the fact that she could take advantage of this situation.
Time to go full Home Alone!
I'm not even really kidding, Doremi transformed to just use her magic to get some snacks and turn on the AC, which yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a different kind of magical device designed for that specifically. Also, you get all those snacks and yet don't create a ridiculously huge sundae? Macaulay would be disappointed with you. And eventually, with no stupid robbers to foil, Doremi quickly got bored and thus tried to call her friends to have some fun. Of course, they were all out helping with the big twist of the episode. Thus, Doremi tried to take a walk to clear her head and ended up running into the other girls of her class, who quickly dispersed as they had clearly bought gifts for her birthday, and of course didn't want to spoil the surprise that at this point was more obvious than a crypto scam. She did eventually encounter someone who wasn't helping with her party, which turned out to be Kotake, mostly because he was just being a putz that day. Like seriously dude, you could at least apologize for kicking a ball into her face.
Oh well, this is probably going to be his only major appearance in this episode. I mean, it's not as though he's going to do anything truly reprehensible by the end of all of this, right?
But yeah, this is another major issue I have with this episode. They really upped Doremi's butt monkey game to just unfunny levels eventually. Like, little things like her just barely not having enough for a soda from the vending machine is kind of funny, because it is a minor, yet very relatable inconvenience, and even the soccer ball on its own would be an okay bit of slapstick, but when it all starts to pile onto one character, you get a case of the Squidwards, and you start to feel more bad for them than anything else. Anyway, still thirsty, Doremi figured that she could just get a drink of barley tea from the Mahodo. Like, seriously, has this always been a thing with her? But yeah, as a result, we got the requisite misunderstanding scene where Doremi thought everyone was happier without her around, when really they were just talking about how they were glad that their party plans were proceeding smoothly, while yes, also kind of dissing her.
I mean, if the lesson of the day is that sometimes good friends will diss each other, then honestly, that's a pretty good moral. I mean, at times you shouldn't take this stuff too seriously, as it's just all a part of having a healthy relationship with someone. But in this episode, it just feels so contrived and forced at times.
Like, guess what happens the second she leaves, believing that her friends legit couldn't stand her?
でもドレミちゃんがいないとちょっと物足りない気がする。
Oh, the anvil of irony!
Ow. Honestly, one of the few saving graces amongst all of the mean-spirited humor in this episode was when Doremi helped up a little girl who fell over and encouraged her not to cry in spite of things not going her way, while she was just having an awful day. It's a little moment where the Ojamajo doesn't really say much, and yet it's a good display of her character, highlighting how, in spite of everything that's happened to her, she does want others to have a better day than her. With that though, we finally entered into the third act of the episode, where everything came together as Doremi walked by the Mahoto and ran into her friends. She tried to run away from them, thinking that they hated her, but they caught up with her, and of course invited her into the Mahodo, where the poppers went off. No, and as for why Doremi forgot about her own birthday, well, they kind of gave a reason in that the past two season events distracted her each time. It doesn't totally explain her just outright forgetting about it, but whatever, it's something. Plus, I do like the continuity which this episode has generally kind of been lacking, at least when it comes to characterization. Doremi, of course, thanked everyone, nice moment where she realized that no matter what, people will still like and respect her for the most part. This got her to even share her celebratory steak dinner with all of them and left her with one small piece to enjoy for herself. Well, okay, even though it is her birthday and she's already suffered a lot, at least Doremi did a good deed and now could at least enjoy her minor spoils to close out the episode wholesomely and...
俺様からのプレゼントだ。ん？
So yeah, I didn't much care for this episode.
Like, this whole thing was just unfairly cruel to Doremi throughout, all for the sake of some supposed comedy.
That alone would be a little much for me, but throw in a cliche plot and some pre-forced drama and yeah, you've kind of lost me.
Not too surprisingly, at least for me, this episode was written by Yoshimi Narita, and it really highlights some of her worst writing habits, in particular when she writes slapstick. Sure, generally, it works fine when it's kind of evenly spread out and doesn't drastically demean or regress a character, which was exactly what happened with Doremi here. The joke that she's the unluckiest girl in the world, with much of it being her own fault, not only got repetitive in this episode, it's gotten repetitive in the overall series too, in my opinion. Hell, I think she's actually grown beyond the gimmick of the first episode of this series. Sure, she can regress a little here and there, but this whole episode was just her either being a careless clog or legit unlucky, and after a while, it feels like things are just happening by the whim of the author's pen rather than organically. As a result, the comedy not only falls flat, but it also feels incredibly mean-spirited, especially with that awful ending. Like, seriously, who eats food off of someone else's fork when it's clear they're about to eat it? Forced comedy like that just brings down everything to me, to the point that other than that one legit good scene where Doremi helped up that little girl, and actually highlighted her development over the series, I just couldn't get invested in the story. Granted, the drama of everyone avoiding her was already forced as the twist was just so damn obvious. But yeah, overall, this is just a miserable Doremi torture episode. Honestly, it's sad when even SpongeBob was treated better when the whole town ditched him for a few weeks.
Though, speaking of which, if you're watching this right now, then that means I've ditched the country for a few days, as I'm currently on vacation in Japan and I just uploaded and scheduled this video for release.
Don't worry, it's just going to be for about a week, and we're just going to delay the usual Precure and Princessian weekly reviews by a few days. We'll get back to the regular schedule on the 27th.
So look forward to whatever comes next. Until then, though, farewell for now, my friends, and oh boy, looks like Pinky's having an hour for mental breakdowns. Better go get our meds.
Well done.